This QDS video demonstrates a web survey showing different types of questions and responses. Welcome to QDS-Web. The home page at QDS-Web.com provides links to additional information about QDS, demo surveys, pricing, and how to contact us for further information. This video will walk through the demo that you can link to from the Demo Surveys page. It will show different types of questions and responses, as well as skip patterns and edit messages. To begin a web survey, you will enter the URL sent by your QDS-Web technical representative in the browser of your choice. QDS-Web surveys can run in any browser on a desktop, laptop, tablet-sized iPad or Android device, or smartphone. The user will need an active internet connection to the internet for the duration of the interview. Your web survey will open to the launch screen. You will work with your QDS-Web technical representative to determine the styles you would like to use. You can customize fonts, images, layout, and colors. Since this is a web-based survey where the respondent will be completing it independently on their own computer, the identifier information will be automatically computed in the background. For this survey, this is a combination of the current date plus current time. You will be able to see that in the Warehouse Manager data file. When ready to proceed, select the Start Survey link. The first screen is an information element that contains a welcome message. After reading the message, respondents will select the next button question when they are ready to proceed. This next screen demonstrates a gender question. Responses are presented as male and female radio buttons. Notice that this screen also has a previous question button on the left-hand side so that you can return to prior questions if needed. Here we'll make our selection and select next question to proceed. The next question is, what is your date of birth? This demonstrates a data element with a date type response. There are drop-down boxes for month, day, and year. For month, you can select your choice from the drop-down box, and for day, you can enter a number on the keyboard or you can use the drop-down arrows. For year, you may also use either the drop-down arrows or you can enter your keyboard. We'll enter 1980 here, and you'll notice that the range on the drop-down will be that was specified in the Design Studio. And when you're done, select Next Question. This next screen shows a numeric type question for how old are you? Enter your response with the keypad. If you enter a response outside the range and select Next Question, you'll receive an error. Note that that message is customizable in the Design Studio under Keyword Translations. After you've corrected your entry, proceed to Next Question. The next screen shows a Check All That Apply type question. Which of the following best describe your race? If you try to proceed without any selections, you'll receive an error message, since we required in the Design Studio that at least one choice be selected. That option is specified on the Response Set tab, branching to disallow checking none. You'll see that you're able to select more than one box and then unselect as needed. This question also includes an Other response. If it is selected, the next item will be an Other specified text item. This was also programmed in the Design Studio as a data element with a text type response. When you are done selecting all of your Check All That Apply responses, select Next Question. Since we did select Other as one of our race choices, this next screen is a text type response for entering Specify Other Race. This screen would have been skipped over if we had not selected the Other response. This is programmed with a skip element in the Design Studio. After we have entered our Other response, we'll go ahead and click Next Question to continue. This next question has a Pick One type response for what is your current marital or partnership status? You will notice that this question also has an Other category. When we pick Other and then go to Next Question, again we'll proceed to an Other Specify screen that was programmed in the Design Studio. Here we're going to go back to previous question and change our response to another item. You'll notice that you could see what was previously selected before making your alternate choice, and we'll select Never Married for this example. Our next question shows a time type question. What time do you usually wake up? You can enter hours, minutes, and AM/PM from the drop-down box. Notice that the AM/PM box is only present for 12-hour type time spans. Our next item here is, what time do you usually go to sleep? This is a 24-hour type time span, so there is no AM/PM box. Again, we can select our choice from the boxes and select Next Question. This next item shows a transitional information text that alerts the respondent to the next types of questions coming up. Here, this screen tells them that the next set of questions will ask about your health. This first health-related question demonstrates a yes/no type response that uses the yes and no radio buttons. In the past year, has a healthcare provider recommended that you receive a flu vaccine? Notice that we've also allowed the special code responses of don't know, refused, and not applicable. These radio buttons are always located below the regular response options. After you make your selection, we'll proceed to the next item. This item demonstrates a rating scale type response where you can answer the question, how would you rate your current state of health? By clicking on the line from 0 being worst possible health to 10 being perfect or best possible health, you can make your selection. And there you can also make a selection in the box and the button will automatically update. And once you're completed, select Next Question to continue. Sometimes for a rating scale response type question, you would like to have intermediate points on the line labeled as well. You can do this with a rating scale response card, and here's our intermediate item. Also, if you would like a vertical scale as shown here, select that option on the Response Set tab. Here you can respond to the question, what number would you use to rate the medical care you've received in the past 12 months? We'll make our selection and choose Next Question to continue. The next question shows a time span type response. How long has it been since your last medical appointment? The time span categories here are years, months, and days. Other options include weeks, hours, minutes, or seconds, up to 3 categories maximum for a question. There are drop-down boxes for entering each category. For years, the drop-down list includes the range set in the design studio, and months and days includes the appropriate range. Again, if you neglect to enter a required category, you would receive an error. And now we'll select Next Question to continue. Sometimes you'll have a series of pick one, check each, or rating scale type responses where the response categories repeat. For example, here we have the first question of a series where the responses will all be from not at all to extremely. This is programmed with a response card in the Design Studio. You'll notice that this next question also includes the same set of responses. Next, we have a lead-in question about cigarette smoking. If we respond no to that item and go forward, you will see that we are taken to the last question of the survey with a skip element programmed in the Design Studio. Now we'll go back and change that response for yes for the purposes of this demonstration, and then we'll move forward to the next item, which starts our cigarette smoking section. First, we'll respond to the first question, how old were you the first time you smoked a cigarette? Our next item is, during the past 7 days, how many cigarettes did you smoke? And we will enter 7 and continue. The next item is, how many cigarettes did you smoke yesterday? Since the number of cigarettes they smoked yesterday should never be greater than the number they smoked in the past 7 days, we built in an edit check. Now, if we enter a number greater than 7, such as 10, and select Next Question, we'll receive the error that we programmed, saying, "You reported smoking more cigarettes yesterday than in the past 7 days. Please review your responses." You will notice that this was programmed in the Design Studio to take the respondent back 2 questions in case they needed to change the first item. Here, we will leave this item as 7, but now for the second item, we will change that to 1, and then we'll proceed. And now the edit is no longer triggered. Now we'll respond to the rest of the cigarette smoking questions. The final survey question asks for any additional comments. A large text box is presented for entry since more than 100 characters are allowed. This is an option on the Response Set tab. After entering your comments and proceeding to Next Question, you'll see a last screen that's an information element displaying a thank you to the respondent. After proceeding from there, you'll land on the QDS-Web exit screen. Your respondents' web data are automatically saved as they are entered, but the survey is not marked as complete until this screen is displayed. It is possible for a respondent to not complete the interview by closing the browser window before this last screen. If that occurs and they enter the survey URL again, they will either start a new survey or resume from where they left off, depending on their browser's cookie settings. If the interrupted survey is never completed, it will be marked as incomplete when imported into the Warehouse Manager. Data collected using the Nova hosted version of QDS-Web are stored within one of Nova Research Company's secure server environments. To learn about importing your QDS-Web data into the Warehouse Manager, see the Importing and Working with QDS-Web Data video and QDS Online Help.